Auditor General.
Thank you. Secretariat.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, members of this committee. Our witness, you're welcome. My name is Beverly Nzala from the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of this committee. My name is Emma Mwandila from the Office of the Clerk.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning to you. Good morning, honorable members. Good morning, our permanent witness. And good morning, KALOMO Town Council. You're welcome. Siwale Andrew is my name from the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Dundumwezi.
Chair, thank you so very much and good morning to you. Good morning, my colleagues, members of Parliament, our Secretariat. Good morning, our dear permanent witnesses. Chair, allow me to welcome my very own council, KALOMO District Council, the first capital city of this nation. My name is Dr. Singombe, Honorable, representing the people of Dundumwezi in KALOMO. Thank you so very much.
Mufumbwe.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning, honorable members of Parliament. Good morning, our permanent witnesses and our Secretariat. Good morning, KALOMO Town Council, and you're welcome to your committee. My name is Elliot Kamondo, Member of Parliament from Fumbwe in Northwestern Province and a member of this committee.
Honorable Member for Kaumbwe.
Thank you, Chair, and KALOMO, welcome to your committee on local government accounts. I'm Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency in Petauke District of the Eastern Province. Thank you.
Very audible enough. Honorable Member for Mitete.
Chair, good morning to you.
Fantastic.
CS and your team, you're welcome. Chair, the way the CS is looking at me, I'm your humble servant from Mitete. My name is Mutelo Mishek. Sir, take it easy. It is your committee. We are interacting with you. You are not in court. Chair, thank you so very much.
Impressive. Today you have the energy, the humble servant and the member for Kaumbwe. Council Secretary, I saw the honorable member for Dundumwezi trying to market KALOMO. Instead of, he went further to say the first capital of Zambia, Dundumwezi, as if he's the only one who has lived in KALOMO. I was in my German compound for 3 years. I know Mawaya, I know Magirimondi, I know all the corners of KALOMO. KALOMO is my second town. They call me Jettas because I played for KALOMO Jettas Football Club. So I wanted to show him that I'm also a KALOMO person. But here is business. We want to see how the KALOMO Town Council has been utilizing the CDF. As you are aware that this is not ordinary CDF, but the enhanced CDF. So we want to see how we have been applying ourselves as a team. Be calm. You're welcome once again. My name is Mishek Mtetwa Nyambos. I represent the wonderful people of Chasefu constituency in Eastern Province. And please note that we are live on TV and radio. So as we are deliberating, you should be aware of that fact. This committee is becoming contagious with the name of Mishek. We are now 3. Sometimes we become 4. We are 4 Misheks in the room. So that is the good thing for you, that if the other Mishek is tough, the other Mishek will be cool. So it will be nice interacting with you, CS. Before you present your report, I want to appeal to you and your team. If you have any information that you feel that you have not submitted by way of an addendum, you can forward it so that we admit it as part of the report. Anything that you feel that was left out, have the peace and let's have that. If when that is done, you at your own time you can take us through the report.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll just allow maybe the Secretary to distribute the copies because I wanted to speak to one correction on the addendum.
Yeah, we also made some amendments, yes, on page page 22. We made some corrections on page 22 on the analysis of performance of desks. The schedule there on page 22 for KALOMO Central, the number of desks brought forward from 2023 is new, and that affects the undelivered desks. It will be new instead of 1,000. So that is a correction that we have already done with the external auditors. So the rest you can take us through if there is any amendment that you further or additional information that you further wish to add.
Thank you very much, Chair, for that recognition. On the addendum, Chair, I just wish to mention that on the corrections, what is appeared on page 13 as Appendix 15 should be changed to Appendix 19.
So page 13?
Yes, Chair. What is cited as Appendix 15 should be changed to Appendix 19.
19, okay.
Yes. And further, Chair, on Appendix 2.3 under the queries,
It's on page what?
Page 14.
(2.3)
Yes, Chair, that Appendix 2.3, the cause of query, we strike it out and replace it is what is appearing under the addendum as 2.3. So, Chair, if it pleases you, when we come to the cause of query under Appendix 2.3, what I'll read is what is on the addendum.
No problem.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, with that stated, allow me to go into the report. And KALOMO, Chair, is appearing under Chapter 57, Part 1, that is stored projects. And the cause of query is stored works not on the approved list of 2024 CDF projects. Chair, I seek your guidance again, whether you wish me to go through the table or skip it and go to the management response.
You just read the cause of the title of the query. After title of the query, you go to the management's response, action taken, and remedial measures.
Most obliged, Chair. Chair, the management response is on page 3, and it reads, management wishes to submit that the cause of query...
Maybe you can kindly just read implementation of committed projects, stored projects.
Thank you very much.
Then you go to...
Chair, implementation of committed projects, stored works not on approved list of 2024 CDF projects. Management response, Chair, on page 3. Management wishes to submit that the cause of query, action taken, and appendix references are detailed and submitted in the table below.
So you can read the causes of the query and action taken on the table on page 3.
Thank you, Chair.
Read completion of the Mata Girls Dormitory.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
You can take us through on the...
Okay, thank you, Chair.
That's a response.
Thank you. So completion of Mata Girls Dormitories. The contractor is Drought Banda. The cause of queries, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and would like to submit that the cause of query for failure to complete Mata Girls Dormitories was due to phased funding approach to the project. The action taken, management wishes to submit that the project has been funded to completion under the 2026 CDF allocation, see Appendix 1. construction of KALOMO prison cells, where the cause of query, Chair, is management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and would like to submit that the cause of query for failure to complete construction of KALOMO prison cells was due to phased funding approach to the project. Action taken, management wishes to submit that the project was funded to completion under the 2026 CDF allocation, see Appendix 1. Construction of staff house at KALOMO Primary School. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and would like to submit that the cause of query for failure to complete construction of a staff house at KALOMO Primary School was due to phased funding approach to the project. Again, Chair, I wish to say Appendix 1 speaks to the project being, sorry, Chair, management will submit that the project is completed and commissioned, see Appendix 1. Construction of a 1x4 CRB at Mtalabi. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and would like to submit that the cause of query for failure to complete the construction of a 1x4 CRB at Mtalabi was due to phased funding approach to the project. And then the action taken, management wishes to submit that the project has been funded to completion and, under the 2026 CDF allocation, see Appendix 1. Completion of a 1x3 CRB at Lusumpuko Primary School. Cause of query, management wishes to submit that the auditor's observations, to acknowledge the auditor's observation and would like to submit that the cause of query for failure to complete construction of 1x3 CRB at Lusumpuko Primary School was due to phased funding approach to the project. Action taken, management wishes to submit that the project is complete, awaiting commissioning. See Appendix 1. Construction of CRB at Mtala A. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and would like to submit that the cause of query for failure to complete construction of a 1x3 CRB at Mtala A was due to phased funding approach to the project. Action taken, management wishes to submit that the project has been funded to completion under the 2026 CDF allocation, see Appendix 1. Construction of 1x3 CRB at Munakanyemba Primary School. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observation and would like to submit that the cause of query for failure to complete construction of a 1x3 CRB at Munakanyemba Primary School was due to phased funding approach to the project. Action taken, management wishes to submit that the project is completed and waiting for commissioning. See Appendix 1. Construction of a mother's shelter at Nantale. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations and would like to submit that the cause of query for failure to complete construction of mother's shelter at Nantale was due to phased funding approach to the project. Action taken, management wishes to submit that the project is completed. See Appendix 1. Remedial measures, Chair. Management has impressed upon the Technical Appraisal Committee to guide the Constituency Development Fund Committee to adhere to the standards by considering funding incomplete projects before commencement of new projects, and also abide by the engineer's estimate to avoid the occurrence of delays in completing projects. Chair, Dunduma's constituents, the implementation of community projects, completion of 1x3 classroom block at Havolile Primary School. Cause of query, Chair. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and submits that the delay in the completion of the project was due to the contractor abandoning works. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the contract for Red Hot contractor was terminated and a new contract was subsequently awarded to O&R General Dealers. The new contractor has since mobilized and the works are at 95%. Remaining works being painting and glazing. See Appendix 2. Remedial measures. Management to ensure that non-performing contracts are terminated timely to ensure timely completion of projects. Construction of maternity annex at Bilili Health Post. Cause of query, Chair. Management acknowledged the auditor's observation and submits that the delay in the completion of the project was due to the contractor moving at a slow pace. Action taken. Management would like to submit that the works on the project have since been completed and the project handed over. See Appendix 3. Remedial measures. Management to ensure that non-performing contracts are terminated to ensure timely completion of projects. Construction of Nabulangu Mother's Shelter on a site without a health facility. Cause of query. Management acknowledged the auditor's observation and would like to state that the construction of the Mother's Shelter was approved by the CDF committee. This was done in response to government having listed Nabulangu as a beneficiary of the 650 prefabricated health posts under the Ministry of Health. However, the project was not implemented. Furthermore, the defects observed by the auditors are due to the settling of the structure. Action taken. Management wishes to submit that since the funding for the prefabricated rural health post is uncertain, the existing Mother's Shelter constructed under CDF has been converted into a health post, and supporting structures such as the staff house and equipping of the existing borehole are under implementation. See Appendix 4. Remedial measures. Management to ensure that the projects are completed to the acceptable standards. Climate resilient projects from the 2024 empowerment grants and loans to respond to the drought. Drilling of 20 boreholes at Mikata, Omba, and Bilili wards. Cause of query, Chair. Management acknowledged the auditor's observation and would like to state that the failure to complete the drilling of 2 boreholes was as a result of dry boreholes that the contractor encountered despite repeated attempts. And this led to the contractor requesting for the amendment of the contract to exclude the 2 boreholes that had failed due to the rock formation of the area. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the contract has since been amended as per request from the contractor, and the matter was taken to the CDF committee for the remaining funds on the contract to be used for a water reticulation project using an existing borehole in a different location. See Appendix 5. Remedial measures. Management to ensure that projects are managed within the terms of and conditions provided for in the contract. Drilling of 10 boreholes and equipping with Indian Mark II hand pumps at Chamuka, Kasukwe, and Chikanta. Cause of query. Management acknowledged the auditor's observation and would like to state that the failure to complete the drilling of 1 borehole was as a result of dry boreholes the contractor encountered, even despite repeated attempts. And this led to the contractor requesting for the amendment of the contract to exclude 1 borehole due to the rock formation of the area. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the contract has since been amended as per the request from the contractor, and the remaining funds of 1 borehole will be used to drill a borehole in a different location under a new contract after the rain season. Remedial measures. Management to ensure that the projects are managed within the terms and conditions provided for in the contract. Cross-cutting issues, Chair. Appendix 1, budget and funding. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's observation and submit that the query arose due to a shortfall in the receipt of the approved budgeted funding of 61,271,284, which resulted in a variance of 31,458,784. Action taken. Management has since made requests and follow-ups to the Ministry for the disbursement of the remaining 31,458,784. The Ministry, under the circular MLG RD/101/22/157 guided that the undisbursed 2024 funds shall be disbursed to the local authorities in 2 installments. See Appendix 7. Remedial measures. Management will continue to actively engage and follow up with the ministry to ensure the timely disbursement of the outstanding 31,458,784 in line with the circular LGRD 101/22/157. Appendix 1.1, Chair, retained funds. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the observations raised by the auditors and submits that the query arose due to the non-receipt of 1 ambulance and 2 motorbikes by the council during the period under review. Action taken. Management wishes to submit that the motorbikes have since been procured by the ministry, and the 2 chiefs, that is Chikanta and Siajtema, confirmed receipt of the same. Management further wishes to submit that the district is still awaiting the delivery of an ambulance for KALOMO Central by the Ministry of Local Government and Road Development. See Appendix 8. Remedial measure. Management will continue to engage the Ministry of Local Government and Road Development to facilitate the delivery of the remaining ambulance to KALOMO Central constituency. Upon receipt, the assets will be promptly recorded and deployed for their intended operational use. Appendix 2.1, total unspent funds, community projects. Cause of query, Chair. Management acknowledges the audit finding that a total amount of 14,017,762,000 was unspent at the closure of the financial year. The unspent funds were committed funds towards implementation of the various CDF components funded under 2024 CDF allocation. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the unspent funds were spent in the first quarter of 2025 on the various community projects, grants, loans, and bursaries. See Appendix 9. Remedial measures. Management to ensure adherence to the CDF implementation timelines and endeavor to utilize the CDF funds within the financial year. Appendix 2.2, Chair, total unspent funds empowerment grant. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and submit that the failure to fully utilize the funds under the grants was attributed to the fact that some clubs had dormant bank accounts, while others were submitting individual bank accounts instead of accounts registered in the names of the clubs. The negative unspent funds arose because disbursements were made in line with the approved 2024 grant allocations, despite the council receiving lower actual funding during the year, resulting in a variance between approved budgets and funds received. Action taken. Funds in Dundumez were fully utilized in 2025, and in KALOMO Central, the funds were expensed in line with the ministerial circular number MLGRD/101/22/74, which gave authority to local authorities to utilize available funds to clear outstanding payments provided they are within the approved budgets. The local authority has since written to the ministry to request for the outstanding funds as per the attached letter. See Appendix 10. Remedial measures. Management to strengthen grant disbursement controls by ensuring that the beneficiary clubs submit valid active bank accounts registered in the names of the clubs prior to any future disbursements. In addition, management will continue to engage the ministry to reconcile funding variances and secure the release of outstanding funds to ensure full utilization in line with approved budgets and the relevant ministerial circulars. Appendix 2.3, Chair, total unspent funds, secondary boarding and skills bursaries. Chair, for cause of query, we go to the addendum, and I read it. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and submit that the failure to utilize bursary funds at 100% was attributed to discrepancies identified at tertiary and secondary boarding schools during headcount that needed reconciliation. These discrepancies related to non-reconciled lists between the names of students approved for sponsorship and those quoted on the invoices submitted by the institutions. As a result, the affected amounts could not be processed until the inconsistencies were resolved. Action taken, Chair. Management wishes to report that following reconciliation of the records, the discrepancies were resolved and the outstanding funds have since been paid. See Appendix 11. Remedial measures. Management to ensure we enhance verification procedures by ensuring that student approval lists are fully reconciled with institutional invoices prior to processing bursary payments. This will ensure timely utilization of bursary funds and prevent reoccurrence of similar discrepancies in future disbursements. Appendix 2.4, Chair, total unspent funds loans. Cause of query. Management acknowledged the auditor's findings and wishes to state that the query arose due to the fact that some beneficiaries were only cleared by the banks in the first quarter of 2025 after undergoing scrutiny by the bank under KALOMO Central. Further, management wishes to submit that the funds in Dundumwe's account were earmarked for disbursement after variation to climate resilience interventions in Dundumwe. Sorry, Chair. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the unspent funds were spent in the first quarter of 2025 on loans, and under Dundumwe, the total amount of $2,610,000 was varied to climate resilience projects, and the balance was paid to loan beneficiaries in the first quarter of 2025. See Appendix 12. Remedial measures. Management to improve loan processing timelines by coordinating closely with the beneficiary banks to ensure timely clearance and disbursement within the financial year. 2.5, Chair, total unspent funds administrative cost. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and submit that the negative unspent funds arose because disbursements in KALOMO Central were made in line with approved 2024 grant allocations, despite the council receiving lower actual funding during the year, resulting in a variance between approved budgets and the funds received. Further, failure to fully utilize the funds under the administrative costs was attributed to the fact that the local authority had ongoing projects which required continuous monitoring as well as other related administrative activities. Action taken. Funds in Dundumwe were fully utilized in 2025, while for KALOMO Central, funds were expensed in line with the ministerial circular number MLGRD/101/22/74, which gave the local authorities to utilize available funds to clear outstanding payments, provided they are within the approved budgets. The local authority has since written to the ministry to request for the outstanding funds. See Appendix 13. Remedial measure. Chair, continued engagement with the ministry will be maintained to secure the release of outstanding funding in line with the approved budgets and the relevant ministerial circulars. Appendix 3, community projects. Management response. Management wishes to submit that the cause of query, the action taken, and the corresponding appendix references are detailed and tabulated in the table below. Number 1, Chair, purchasing of a rig. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and submit that at the time of audit, the machine had not been delivered as the supplier had requested for the extension of the contract. Action taken. Chair, the rig has been delivered. Number 2, purchase of a compactor. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to delayed procurement process. Action taken, the compact has been delivered. Number 3, Chair, construction of a market shelter at Kalomo Town Market, Tandavale Phase 1. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to a phased approach of funding. Action taken, the project being funded under ZDSP and works are at 95% to completion. Number 4, completion of a dam construction, Kalonda Dam. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to a phased approach to funding. Action taken, the dam has since been completed and commissioned. Number 5, Chair, purchase of borehole accessories for rural communities. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to the delay in delivering the drilling rig. The borehole accessories have been procured. Number 6, township roads contributions to KFW. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was that at the time lost in waiting for the signing of the memorandum of understanding with KFW and the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. The action taken, the contribution to KFW was made. Chair, 2024, number 1, Chief's Palaces, Siach Tema. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to the project being procured centrally. Action taken, the Chief's Palaces is at 85% complete. Number 2, Chair, construction of a maternity wing at Kanchel Rural Health Center. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to delayed procurement process. Action taken, the maternity wing is at 98% complete. Number 3, Chair, installation of street lights. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to the delayed procurement process. Action taken, the project is complete and commissioned. Number 4, completion of 1/3 CRB at Kasikili. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to the phased approach of funding. The project is complete, Chair. Number 5, completion of 1/3 CRB at McRaymond. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to a phased approach in funding. The CRB is completed and commissioned. Number 6, completion of 1/3 CRB at Square. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to a phased approach in funding. Action taken, the project has been allocated funds under 2026 CDF for completion. Number 7, Chair, completion of a clinic at Muchenje Rural Health Center. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to the phased approach in funding. The project has been completed, Chair. Number 8, completion of Bello Health Post. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to delayed procurement process. The project has been completed. Number 9, completion of a maternity wing at Chifusa Rural Health Center. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to the phased approach in funding. Action taken, the project has been completed. Number 10, Chair, completion of a 1x3 CRB at RRR Primary School. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to a phased approach in funding. Action taken, the project has been completed. Dundumwezi 2024, sorry, Chair. Number 1, fabrication and delivery of 2,500 double-seater desks. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to the delayed procurement process. The project has been completed, Chair. Number 2, Chief's Palaces, Chikanta. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to the project being procured centrally. The Chief's Palace is at 95% complete. Number 3, Chief's Palace, Siaj-Tema. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to the project being procured centrally. The project, the action taken, the Chief's Palace is at 85% complete. Number 4, Chair, motorbikes, Chikanta Chiefdom. Chair, I actually read this somewhere. So the action taken that the motorbikes have been procured and delivered.
You can skip it.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, the construction of maternity at Chikanta, that is Havlile Main Hospital in Chikanta Ward. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to the delayed procurement process. The project now is at 98% complete. Lubricants for earth-moving equipment. Chair, management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to delayed procurement process. The lubricants were procured. Number 7, construction of a maternity annex at Mikata Health Center. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to delayed procurement process. Action taken, the project is complete. Number 8, construction of a health post at Najinka. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to delayed procurement process. Action taken, the project is 85% complete. Number 9, Chair, drilling of and equipping of hand pumps. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to the contractor encountering dry boreholes. The project was amended and is now complete. Outstanding projects. KALOMO Central 2024. Chair, number 1, purchase of an ambulance. Chair, with the indulgence, would I skip this? I read it somewhere.
Skip it.
Thank you. Number 2, that is the REA, Rural Electrification Authority. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to the project being centrally procured. Action taken, an MOU was signed and the priority sites have been submitted to REA. Dundumwezi 2024, REA. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by the auditors and would like to submit that the cause of query was due to the project being centrally procured. An MOU was signed and the priority sites have been submitted to REA. See Appendix 16. Remedial measures. Management will continue to intensify project supervision, monitoring, and evaluation in order to expedite and ensure timely implementation of projects. Appendix 3.1, analysis of performance of debt. Chair, this one you made reference to it. With your indulgence, would I skip it?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Remedial measure. Management will ensure that there is timely completion of community projects. Appendix 6, Youth and Women Empowerment Grant Performance Analysis. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observation raised by the auditors and submit that the failure to fully utilize the funds under the grants was attributed to the fact that some clubs had dormant accounts, while others were submitting individual bank accounts instead of accounts registered in the names of the clubs. The negative unspent funds arose because the disbursements were made in line with the approved 2024 grant allocations, despite the council receiving lower actual funding during the year, resulting in a variance between approved budgets and funds received. The approval rate was low because of the overwhelming applicants in KALOMO Central compared to the approved 2024 budget on empowerment grants. Action taken: funds in Dundumwezi were fully utilized in 2025, while KALOMO Central expensed the funds in line with the ministerial circular number MLGRD/101/22/74, which gave local authorities to utilize available funds to clear outstanding payments, provided they are within the approved budgets. The local authority has since written to the ministry to request for the outstanding funds as per attached letter. See Appendix 10. Remedial measures: management to strengthen grant disbursement controls by ensuring that beneficial clubs submit valid active bank accounts registered in the name of the clubs prior to any future disbursement. In addition, management to continue to engage the ministry to reconcile funding variances and secure the release of outstanding funds to ensure full utilization in line with approved budgets and relevant ministerial circulars. Appendix 7.2, failure to recover loans. Management response. Cause of query: the query arose due to failure by beneficiaries to make loan repayments over periods ranging from 1 to 24 months, resulting in unrecovered loan amounts totaling 3,129,695,000. Action taken: management wishes to submit that a total of 130,468 kwacha has since been recovered from the loan beneficiaries. Further, reminders have been issued to all beneficiaries informing them of their legal obligations regarding loan repayments. See Appendix 18. 18, right? 18 or 1B? 18, okay, thank you. Remedial measures: management to strengthen loan recovery mechanisms through enhanced monitoring and follow-ups to enforce loan repayments agreements and institute recovery measures. Appendix 18, bursary performance analysis. Management response. Cause of query: management wishes to acknowledge the observation rates. Oh, sorry, Chair, this is the, no, this is 2.4. It's the bursary.
You can skip those who have already.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Yeah.
Chair, in conclusion, on behalf of KALOMO Town Council, I wish to confirm that our full commitment to addressing the matters raised with the urgency and seriousness they deserve. We acknowledge the areas requiring improvement and assure the committee that prompt and effective corrective measures will be implemented. As a team, we remain united in our responsibility to enhance service delivery and uphold the trust placed on us. Our ultimate objective is to serve the residents of KALOMO and the citizens at large with integrity, transparency, and diligence. I respectfully submit, Chair.
Thank you very much, Council Secretary, for that submission. I'm sure you are tired. You need some water. This is a reminder of the olden days of this committee, where you have so many queries. I don't want to preempt, but I want to ask honorable members to make interventions. Honorable member for Mufumbwe. Use a mic.
Chairperson, I want to thank you. I know my colleagues are still preparing.
You can put it down a bit, the mic. Okay. I mean, yes, like that.
Yes. I want to take you to page 24.
Let's go to page 24.
Chair, page 24 is Appendix 7.2, failure to recover loans. We have seen other councils doing better, but I'm surprised, rather perplexed on Ndundumwenzi. The first question is, you have an outstanding amount of 3,129,695. And out of this amount, you have only covered 130,468. So when we calculate, we find that out of the total amount which was disbursed, you have only recovered 4%, which is actually the lowest so far from those other councils that we have interacted with. And you have also told us that this time around, you engaged the defaulters so that they can start doing the loan repayment. Before I ask him 3 or 4 questions, I want to find out, when were you audited?
Yes.
Chair, we were audited in 2025, in short, last year.
To be specific, which month?
Around May, Chair.
Thank you, thank you, CS. You are saying around May you were audited. When did you first engage the defaulters so that you can ask them why they were not doing their own repayment?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Let me allow my DF to just respond to that.
Yes, DF.
Thank you, Chair. The first engagement that we had was in the first quarter of 2025. Previously, what we used to do, Chair, we used to send demand notices, but we had seen that even if we send demand notices, the response was not coming as per expected. So what we resolved, Chair, is to now start having engagements with the defaulters.
The question is, CS, switch off your mic. When you look at this report on page 24, default period, 1 to 24 months, meaning 24 months, meaning 1 year. You were expected to get, you were supposed to recover 3,129,695, and you recovered nothing. Why Kalomo? When other councils are making efforts. 2 years, you recover 0. There's something wrong there. If you don't see it, everyone can see. What explanation do you have, despite the instructions or maybe directives from the highest authority, the Minister of Local Government, the President himself, and you recover 0 in 2 years? You can't recover anything. And it doesn't move you as a council. Are these grants? The answer is no. What can you explain to us and the people of Kalomo and the people of Zambia, to your government, you as officers? Why have you failed to collect even one way? Nothing. And you are comfortably seated like that in the council. Did you donate this money? Are these your relatives? Can you tell us? Yes.
Thank you, Chair. As my Director of Finance mentioned, our first formula of giving them the demand notices proved not to bring results. So that's why we said, let's try now to have this engagement. And Chair, we can engage them and remind them of their obligations. Then we expect them to make the amend. Suffice to mention, Chair, that if you look at the constituent that seems not to be doing fine is Dundumwezi, because it is the opposite of the other constituents. The other constituents, their personal accounts or club accounts are maintained by the bank. So whatever transaction they do in the accounts, the bank is able to recover. But what you observe with the Dunduma is that they seem to open those projects just to receive the money. Then after that, they have different accounts. So even on the bank side, it becomes a bit challenging to recover from what is available in the accounts. But we've engaged now. We hope that this engagement will yield the results through the use of the other traditional leaders like the chiefs. Maybe allow me, Chair, to bring in.
How do you involve the chiefs? Were they involved from the beginning? Honorable Kamondo.
Chair, this is actually a very unique and peculiar situation. Earlier on, what we want to establish here, Chair, is where is the problem? Is it with the council or with the people? We are not going to play blame games, but we want to establish where the problem is. Earlier on, your witness said that we had engaged them. From the submissions that we have here, we don't have even any letter of engagement. We don't have anything, any demand notices. So how would we believe that the council was engaging these defaulters? I wanted them to provide some evidence before I ask another question.
Yeah. How do we prove? Also, how do we prove that these people from Dundumwezi, all of them, 86 of them, they changed their accounts? How did you know that? At what time did they change the accounts? From the first, the normal accounts they used to go to get the loans, then they changed to personal accounts. How did you know that?
Thank you, Chair. For the first question, you asked me whether these were our relatives. I said we use the chiefs because the chiefs may have some way of interact with them beyond us. Now, coming to the how did we know that they changed the accounts? Chair, we did an analysis of the two constituencies. We wanted to also understand why is the bank failing when the other bank is managing. This is what we're able to state, to see that these accounts are only opened for the sake of receiving the grants or the loans, the loans. But for the evidence of engagement beyond what I'm saying, I'm going to ask my senior health inspector who is spearheading this project, this program, to just speak a bit to that, Chair.
Thank you, Senior Health Inspector.
Thank you so much, Chair, for the opportunity. Maybe as I speak to evidence as requested by the committee, I will draw your attention to Appendix 18. So Appendix 18 speaks to an engagement meeting that we requested ourselves and the banks to do with the loan beneficiaries in Dundumwezi. So that is the report. Then I'll also draw your attention to the addendum. Addendum Appendix D has the latest report from Zanaco.
What is the date of this meeting or engagement?
Sorry, the meeting was held in the fourth quarter, so we didn't put the date there. But it was in the fourth quarter.
Honorable Kamondo.
Chair, I had gone through all that information that we are looking at. Because when you look at this report, deliberately, earlier on, the witness submitted that we've been engaging them. We even wrote demand notices.
Yeah, that's what.
And that was in May, or maybe before that, before the auditors came. The question I asked when they were audited, it looks like this council had not been doing enough. And that's why we asked for the demand notices. If the people were engaged earlier, we could have seen some improvement. But when we went through this, I found that even this report doesn't even have a date. So I don't know whether we are going to depend on the verbal submission to prove that this was done maybe earlier or after the auditors visited them.
It's a pity. And, you know, our Ministry of Law Government should take interest. These documents, you just sit knowing that you are coming for a committee and you manufacture documents. A document should have a standard. This is government you are running. In the government, a document should have a date. But for the sake of coming to this meeting, just appear, you're doing wrong things there, you can't even put it, it's not dated. We had the council yesterday, Gwembe, they give us a fabricated report, a different report, which was speaking opposite to what they were having themselves. This is happening in councils. The question is, why are you doing this to the people of Dundumwezi? Why are you doing this to the people of KALOMO? Why are you doing this to the people of Zambia? Why are you doing this to your government? Why? And as we are getting allowances to sit here just to ask you every day, you're doing wrong things, you go back, business as usual. How do we develop a country like that? Council Secretary, you have come as a team. When people see you that these are officers, but what you're doing is wrong. When did you realize that these 86 loan beneficiaries, actually, from day one they got these loans in 2024, that they had created different accounts where they were keeping the money and not the loan account? It's not about the account. You know them. You can follow them. What efforts did you make? Honorable Mondo here asked, okay, you said that you had engagements, you wrote to them. Where is the evidence? When did you write them? You are giving us headaches as a committee. It's not supposed to be academic here. We just ask you questions, you go. It is painful to us. It becomes emotional. These are public resources. How do you donate public resources? And you do nothing. 2 years, zero correction. Honorable Kamondo.
Witness, from the submission that you have made on Appendix 18, you made a lot of resolutions here. When you look at the resolutions that were made, there is resolution number 3, which states that enhanced monitoring. The local authority will strengthen monitoring of funded projects to ensure loans are utilized for the intended purposes. The next one is financial literacy support. Beneficiaries will be encouraged to attend basic financial management and business skills training to improve sustainability of their enterprises. Now, the question is, you had this meeting at a known date. When did you do the next monitoring? And also, when did you also do some financial literacy support? We want to find out.
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. In terms of the financial literacy, the beneficiaries, that's the precondition before the funds are released. As for the monitoring, allow me to bring in my senior health inspector again on that.
And also, to just Chair, I wanted also them to speak to resolution number 6, regular engagement meetings. When did they had the last meeting? So that we know how regularly, after those resolutions, how regularly are they monitoring and how are they engaging these defaulters to encourage them? Because what I know, Ndudumwezi is a farming block. They do a lot of farming. So even some of the reasons that they are saying, maybe they could not pay because things were not okay. Can I be protected?
You are protected. You are.
Can you send him out, Chair?
Honorable member for Dudumwezi, declare interest.
Sorry. Before I was interrupted, facts be told, Ndundumwezi is where we expect that they would, at some point, they would feed the whole country. These are people that already have some financial interest because they've been farming for some time. We want to establish. The president has been here on point, asking people, even us, to encourage our members actually to pay, because this is a revolving fund. When did you last engage these people from Ndundumwezi?
When did you last engage them?
My senior health inspector, Chair.
Do we have a planner in this team? What did you do when the health inspector takes up monitoring and dealing with these loans and the grants, clubs? It's strange that the DP is not doing the issues it's supposed to do. It's only the health inspector. I don't know the local government now, but the local government that I know is that this issue sits in the office of the planner. So I've been watching you referring to the health inspector. It's fine. If this is the KALOMO standard, it's okay. So what does the DP and the socio-economic planner do? What do they do? What are the planners doing? They're the ones doing health inspection. Maybe this is local government. We can, maybe I may be saying something wrong here, but that's what I know. Why do we have the health inspector? Before you respond, our staff help him with the mic. CS, what happened in KALOMO? Maybe no wonder we are facing these problems.
Thank you, Chair. I deliberately bring in the senior health inspector because he's doubling as the acting chief socio-economic planner.
But where was the DP in this? Was he in KALOMO?
He wasn't there at the time, actually. We just deliberately had to bring him also, the one who was on the ground.
The planner was not there?
It is relatively new when these things were happening. He was not yet there.
Okay. Let's have the health inspector. Well, that was strange.
Thank you so much, Chair. So I was drawing your attention to the report that the
when did you last engage?
So we engage them every month through the WDCs, and then we also get monthly returns from the bank. That's why I was drawing your attention to the addendum, which speaks to the latest recoveries that we have.
Honorable Kamondo, just on a short one.
This is a common scenario in most of the constituencies. You cannot engage a certain group without any document. If the witness can provide some a form of report from the World Development Committees to tell us those engagements and the dates, that will be sufficient for this committee. However, if there is nothing, we will not take that submission because it is not submitted here.
Maybe on this one, let us wind up on this one. It's quite strange. You saw, if this is what you are doing, the role of this committee is just to expose this. It's fine. And if you are tolerated to be doing this, the wings of government, the Local Government Service Commission and the Ministry of Local Government will take it up. Our role is just to expose them. And I thank the auditors for what you have done. This is very good. And if this is okay, if any one of us was that the action could have taken place, but this is not allowed. Mind you, people, we are not the best in this position. We're just privileged. There are good people there with credentials who can do better. The youths are there who can do better in our positions. They gave you a vehicle for monitoring. Do you send that vehicle to a WDC to monitor for you? You are the ones who are supposed to do the monitoring. Now you are telling this committee, no, we do it through WDCs. What is the purpose of that vehicle? Why are you getting paid? This is a bad report. Here, this query, thanks to the auditors, 86 people in 2 years paying nothing. Now you have a bank statement after audit because we were coming to appear. And even after this session, you go and pack these, you forget. These were donations you gave to the people. We move to the next query. Okay, before that, Honorable Member for Dundumwezi.
Yeah, Chair, before we move on, let me just take advantage of one scenario that I'm very, very vested with, and I'm sure the local authority is also aware. First of all, when you look at the bank statement, I want the CS to go to number 42.
On the appendix?
On the addendum. Gosimbi General Dealers borrowed 200,000. And Chair, this particular company or the director,
Number?
42. This particular director of this company died last year. Now, what I want to find out from the CS is whether these loans are backed by insurance. And if they are, what would be the position for this particular man who was running this company and is dead? Are we not supposed to go to the insurance to recover this money, Chair?
Thank you. CS.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me to bring my Director of Finance to speak to this issue.
Jeff.
Thank you, Chair. I think that is one thing that we'll need to take up with the bank, just to understand.
You don't know.
No, Chair.
Let's make progress. You, as Director of Finance, you don't know if these loans are backed by any insurance. You want to go back to and ask the bank. What are you doing in KALOMO? Let's make progress. Next question, Dr. Mwanza.
Thank you, Chair. We'll take the committee to page 7.
Let's go to page 7.
Construction of Navulanga Mother's Shelter on a site without a health facility. So this project was awarded to Chimunya Muleya for the completion of Navulangu Mother's Shelter on a labor-based contract at a contract sum of 20,000 kwacha for a period of 8 weeks, commencing 24th September 2024, ending 4th November 2024. The approved amount for the project was 250, that is labor 20,000 and the materials 230,000. The project, as at the time of audit, was still incomplete, and it had a balance in terms of amount remaining 161,000 kwacha 425. The points of clarification I want to seek is this is a site where the CDFC recommended to construct a mother's shelter where there is no health facility. A mother's shelter is a place where people wait for the sick, you know. So they recommended to construct, first thing to construct is a mother's shelter, to wait for the patients where there's no facility, health facility to host patients. Then it was labor-based, meaning council would buy the materials and then Mr. Chimunya Muleya would be doing the construction. The labor contract was 20,000 kwacha, whilst materials were expected to cost 160, yes, 230. At the time of audit, the labor contractor was paid 100%. He was paid the 20,000 kwacha, whilst there were a lot of outstanding works, such as power and water reticulation. Why did the labor contractor got paid 100% before finishing his obligation?
Thank you. Just leave it there so that the two questions are answered.
Yes.
Council Secretary, you are building a mother shelter where there is no clean.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I take it that the first question was why did we construct a mother's shelter where there's no clinic? Chair, I thought that's what I submitted. We acknowledged the observation of the auditors and mentioned that it was earmarked to be one of the beneficiaries for the 650 prefabricated health posts. And as a matter of fact, Chair, a borehole was drilled by government to demonstrate commitment. So arising from that, the CDF took it up and decided to construct associated infrastructure to complement it. However, for the other, however, for the, why did the contractor, labor-based contractor, get paid 100% when works were still outstanding? Allow me to bring in the direct engineering to speak to that. Thank you, Chair.
Just to, before the director, Honorable Gamondo. But this country, we need prayers for KALOMO. You can't justify that. Even you yourself, so seriously, you sit down, you are justifying that because there was a borehole there and government they committed to know we are going to do this, then you let's build a mother shelter. And when there are needy areas there, you have seen how you are failing to finish projects. So many projects, more than 20, due to phased approach. Instead of getting that money to finish up those projects, you are justifying here, Council Secretary. Were you there in 2024?
I came towards the end of 2024.
The one who was there was even promoted. You can't. And how do you pay 100% for the works not finished? Where is the former Council Secretary?
He's in Kaoma Town Council, Chair.
Causing more damage there. Honorable Gamondo.
Yeah.
Let them answer first. Okay, before the director engineering response, Honorable Gamondo, I'll give you that.
Sorry, my honorable colleague, Dr. Mwanza. From the look of things, we've seen that the people that were there are not here. And that's why maybe we are surprised to get actually answers which are not answering the queries. So I am not too sure whether we are going to continue in this trajectory. Talking to people, of course I know they've taken over, but like the way we have done with other councils, would have loved if those officers were there to answer these queries. Because even the issue of the 650 rural health posts, I was chairperson for government assurances, and we know that this contract was terminated. So when the CDF was coming in, there was no need for us to start looking at those 650. The council should have just gone in to build another health institution, and in addition to the mother's shelter. They wouldn't have gone this route.
Director of Finance, were you there in 2024?
No, Chair, I wasn't there.
Director Engineering, were you there?
No, Chair.
Planner, were you there?
No, Chair.
Give us 5 minutes. We can adjourn for 2 minutes.
Well, thank you so much for still being with us on Parliament Television, still watching the Committee on Local Government Accounts as they continue considering the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2024. And our witness currently appearing before this committee is KALOMO Town Council, and the chairperson has just asked for 2 minutes for that break, and they will reconvene and continue interrogating the local authorities. We still have quite a number of local authorities that are appearing before this committee, and also have the local governance, housing and chiefs affairs also receiving submissions from various local authorities dotted across the country. So for now, we'll take a short break, and once they reconvene, I'll be able to cross back to that committee for further consideration of that report. Keep watching Parliament Television. My name is Paul Sentindovi, and Jason Manda is my sign language interpreter.